Forgotten ID? It's over. On the day we were scheduled to sign our marriage license, my fiancée showed up an hour late, strolling towards City Hall without a care in the world. To top it off, she had forgotten her ID. I forgot it. Let's just do it next time, Chloe Sanders said, waving her hand dismissively. I looked at her. 3 years of dedication suddenly felt like a joke. There won't be a next time. Right there in the lobby, I took back my documents. We're done. Luke, Chloe looked panicked. Are you crazy? Because of something this small? Small? People really do laugh when they're pushed past the point of speech. You show up an hour late, and when you finally arrive, your attitude is this casual? 10 minutes ago, she had finally sauntered in, rummaged through her bag for what felt like an eternity, and then dropped the bomb. Oh, I left in a rush. I think I forgot my ID. She had laughed then, a heartless, awkward little sound. How about next time? It's not like one day makes a difference. Buzz. That sound in my head was my temper finally snapping. If you can forget your ID for your own wedding, how do you not forget to breathe? My words were harsh, but that was the most civilized response I could muster. Chloe clearly hadn't expected this reaction. She froze for a moment, then frowned. Why are you yelling at me? Her voice rose. It's just an ID. We can come back another day. Besides, she glared at me with self-righteous indignation. Why didn't you remind me? Why didn't I remind you? Give me a break. In her eyes, forgetting the ID for our marriage license was my fault. My fault for not reminding her. I was so angry I wanted to laugh. Ding dong. Just as she was digging for her ID, her phone, which she placed on the counter, lit up. I glanced at it immediately. It was her pinned, hyperactive group chat, Sister's Shopping Spree. The latest message was from her best friend, Jessica. At everyone meet at the usual spot this afternoon. That amazing dessert place. Whoever's late pays the bill. Excited hands emoji. Below it were several replies. Let's go. For dessert. I'll never be late. So, she could remember her friend's dessert date. She could remember not to be late for them. She could remember to reply received. The only thing she forgot was that she was supposed to marry me today. The only thing she forgot was her ID. It wasn't a bad memory. It was just that I didn't matter. Forget it. I'm out. Bitter memories, I returned to the apartment we had shared for 3 years. The moment I opened the door, a familiar warmth hit me, but it felt suffocating. Everything here, from the sofa cushions to the mugs on the dining table, was branded with Chloe Sanders. It was time to extract my life from this home. I walked into the bedroom and slid open the closet. The left side was packed with her clothes, a colorful, chaotic empire. The right side, belonging to me, held only a few shirts and pants. I pulled out my suitcase and began to pack calmly. My fingers brushed against a soft gray sweater and I paused. That was from our second anniversary. I had booked a table a month in advance at that high-rise restaurant she loved, the one overlooking the Chicago skyline. I had carefully prepared the limited edition necklace she'd mentioned, imagining her surprised expression. That night, I sat by the window, waiting from the moment the city lights flickered on until the night was pitch black. The waiter refilled my water glass again and again. She was over an hour late. When she finally appeared, her first words weren't an apology, but an excited squeal as she shoved her phone in my face to show off her new manicure. Babe, look, isn't this color pretty? The nail tech was so slow, that's why it took so long. It's pretty. Happy anniversary. I looked at her glittering fingers and swallowed my unhappiness. Let go, I told myself. She's my woman. If she's immature, she's immature. We'll work on it. She opened the box, screamed in delight, and threw her arms around me. I took a deep breath and told myself, it's okay. She's here now. Girls like to look good. It's normal. Then there was that cold winter night. I was running a high fever, my bones feeling like they were breaking apart. In a haze, I called her, my voice raspy. Chloe, I have a fever. Huh? A fever? Is it bad? My boss just called an emergency meeting. I can't leave. Babe, can you get to urgent care by yourself? I'll DoorDash some medicine to you. Love you. Beep, beep, beep. The line went dead. I dragged my broken body up, wrapped myself in a thick down jacket, and stumbled to the hospital to register, get blood drawn, and get for. Sitting in the freezing infusion room, watching the medicine drip into my veins drop by drop, I watched a couple next to me huddled together for warmth. I comforted myself. She's career-driven. That's a good thing. I can't hold her back. I can handle this. My gaze returned to the gray sweater in my hand. She had bought it on a whim while shopping last winter. This color looks warm, she'd said, but she forgot to ask my size. It was a size too small, the collar choking me, so I had almost never worn it. My eyes swept over the nightstand, where a gym membership card lay gathering dust. I had bought it specifically for her. She always said she wanted to get in shape, But every time I suggested going, she had an excuse. I'm too tired today. I'm shopping with Brittany. Next time, definitely next time. That card had expired without being used once. Just like my expectations for her, my tolerance, and my self-soothing next times. They had all expired, silently and unnoticed. I always thought my optimism was like sunlight that could disperse any haze. Now I realized it was just self-deception, used to cover up the reality that in this relationship, I was consistently ignored and placed last. I used optimism to justify all her negligence, making everything she did understandable. But I forgot to ask myself, in this relationship, where were my feelings? Where was my dignity? Bang! I slammed the suitcase shut. My phone started vibrating in my pocket. I didn't need to look to know who it was. I pulled it out. Chloe's name was flashing persistently on the screen. Are you crazy? Luke, what is your problem? You just leave without saying a word? Are you insane? Is your reading comprehension that bad? I thought I made myself very clear at City Hall. I said, my voice dripping with sarcasm. Clear about what? She sounded exasperated. It's just a forgotten ID. Do you have to be so dramatic? I said we go next time. Are you a man or not? You're being so petty. Chloe, I laughed. Is it your mindset? So now is my fault? Attitude? What's wrong with my attitude? I showed up, didn't I? She sounded both aggrieved and angry, as if I were the one making unreasonable trouble. Look, I'll give you one more chance. Come back right now and pick me up, and I won't even make you apologize. We'll go get the license next Monday. I promise I'll remember to bring it this time. Give me one more chance. I almost laughed out loud from the sheer absurdity. Even now, she thought she held the reins, as if she were granting me a favor. No need. I have no interest and no obligation to play this next time for sure game with you. You. She choked on her words, probably shocked that I would refuse so bluntly. I didn't give her a chance to speak again. I hung up. Less than 3 seconds of silence later, the phone vibrated frantically. A barrage of iMessages bombed my screen. Look, pick up the phone. Do you know how embarrassing this is for me? I'm warning you, don't push your luck. I was wrong, okay? Just come back. What do you want from me? Between the lines, there was anger, threats, and a reluctant apology. I swiped the notifications away expressionlessly. Just as I was about to block her, another call came through. It was Dave, one of our mutual friends, a chronic nice guy. Hey, Luke. Dave's voice came through. What's going on? I just heard Chloe crying on the phone, saying you left her stranded at City Hall. Yeah, she doesn't want to get married, I said. Come on, man, I feel you. Forgetting the ID for something that big is annoying, for sure. Dave sighed, slipping into his mediator role. But you know Chloe, she's just scatterbrained. She doesn't have a bad heart. She definitely wants to marry you. Just give her some time, smooth things over, and it'll be fine. You know how women are. Here we go again. She's just scatterbrained. She doesn't have a bad heart. Just let it go, smooth things over. I had heard these arguments countless times over the past 3 years. I had used them to excuse her in my own mind countless times, as if because she was scatterbrained, all her negligence and hurt were worthy of forgiveness. Because I was optimistic and generous, I deserved to swallow the grievance time and again to maintain a superficial harmony. Dave, I cut him off. Thanks for the good intentions. But it's not like I haven't given her time, and it's not like I haven't tried to smooth things over. I just suddenly realized something. My optimism and patience shouldn't be capital for others to squander recklessly. Those things are precious. They should be saved for people and things that are actually worth it. There was silence on the other end. Dave was stunned by my unprecedented speech. After a long pause, he stammered, Luke, are you for real? Absolutely. I paused. Like right now. I feel that investing in myself is worth a hell of a lot more than wasting away in a relationship that will never pay off. Without waiting for his response, I said, gotta go, and ended the call definitively. Almost simultaneously, a new message popped up from Chloe's best friend, Jessica. Luke, Chloe is just a bit careless. Can you stop being so petty for a grown man? Even if she forgot, it just means subconsciously she wasn't ready. You should be more understanding and tolerant. I looked at the message, and my heart didn't even ripple. Understanding? Tolerance? Waiting. I used to think love was about enduring forever. But now I understood that bottomless, unacknowledged endurance isn't love. It's slow-motion suicide. I opened my contacts and dragged Chloe, Dave, Jessica, and every other potential lobbyist into the block list. I walked to my desk and opened my laptop. I clicked on a browser bookmark folder that had been shelved for nearly 2 years. Startup plan, blockchain, financial model. This was my research focus during grad school. I had drilled deep into it, and even my advisor said it had massive potential. But later, to make more money, to meet the expectations of stable work from Chloe and her family, I joined a big tech company and shelved this dream indefinitely. I opened my banking app and checked the balance. Exactly $80,000. This was the money I had saved over several years, living frugally, plus some support from my parents, intended as startup capital for our wedding, honeymoon, and future small family. Now, I didn't need it for that. I looked at the business plan, full of passion and ideas. I felt fortunate. I had woken up, the money was still there, and the dream was still there. It was time to start a new game. Girls' night out meanwhile, on the other side of the city. Chloe Sanders recovered from her shock and angrily stomped into the trendy dessert shop where Jessica and the other girls were having afternoon tea. He actually left. Chloe threw her bag onto the empty chair next to her, her chest heaving with rage. Just because I forgot my ID, Luke actually broke up with me. Is he crazy? Jessica and the other two friends looked at each other. No way. Luke has such a good temper. One friend muttered quietly. Chloe felt like she found an outlet and spoke rapidly. Exactly. I told him we'd go next time. And he said something like, we're done. And, wish me happiness? What does he mean? I just forgot a document. It's not a big deal. He's never been like this before. Jessica hesitated, then spoke up. Chloe, today was the day you were getting the license. Being late and forgetting your ID is a bit. Even you're taking his side? Chloe interrupted her. I was the one left at City Hall. I think he did it on purpose. He wanted to break up a long time ago and just used this as an excuse. The more she said it, the more it made sense to her. The panic she felt because things had gone out of her control was replaced by anger and grievance. She picked up her phone and spitefully posted a status update. Truly saw someone's true colors today, denying an entire relationship over one little thing. Turns out deep affection was nothing but a joke. Glad I saw the truth. Wave emoji, wave emoji. After posting, she threw her phone on the table and stabbed her fork viciously into the cake in front of her, as if the cake were my face. Just wait. Let's see how many days he lasts. If he doesn't crawl back and apologize properly this time, this isn't over. She swore to her friends, looking every bit the person who was used to being favored and fearless. The first pot of gold my new place was a one-bedroom apartment in an older building. It wasn't big, the lighting was average, but its virtue was silence. There were no abstract paintings Chloe liked on the walls, no cartoon throw pillows she bought on the sofa. Just me, and the occasional bird chirping outside the window. I opened that long sealed folder. The rush of staying up all night for an algorithm during grad school, that massive sense of accomplishment after cracking a difficult problem, swept over me again. Turns out, deep down, I never really gave up on it. I had just spent the last 3 years consuming my energy on soothing Chloe's moods and meeting her family's expectations for my stability. The Luke Miller who once had light in his eyes and dared to dream had been ground down. Now it was time to let him out. In the days that followed, I lived like a monk. Outside the window, day turned to night, but for me, it was just a difference in screen brightness. When I was tired, I napped on the desk. When I was hungry, I ordered takeout or boiled instant noodles. The only sound in the room was the clatter of my keyboard. I poured all my time and energy into the optimization, testing, and live trading verification of this model. No one complained in my ear about not spending time with them. No phone calls interrupted my train of thought. Opportunity always favors the prepared. Just as my model was initially completed and I started live testing with small funds, a predicted small market fluctuation appeared in the third week. The volatility wasn't huge, but my model, with its advanced early warning and precise trend judgment, captured the opportunity. I took a deep breath, deployed a portion of the funds, applied leverage, and entered the market decisively. For the next few hours, I felt restless. Every roll of the numbers on the screen tugged at my nerves. This was about me, after 2 years of silence, launching an assault on the world relying solely on my passion and judgment. When the volatility ended and I closed the position according to the model signal, looking at the string of numbers in the account that had nearly tripled, I leaned back in my chair and let out a long breath. Success. The first pot of gold secured. The money wasn't vast, but the significance was monumental. It was like a shot of adrenaline injected straight into my life. It turned out that using the time I spent waiting for her and coaxing her to build a career, using the energy I spent guessing her thoughts to study technology, using the funds originally intended for our future to invest in myself. The return on investment was terrifyingly high.